All right, so we've been able to gather the data and create a match for that person. So we have the questions and the matches, but now what we need to do is we need to be able to see these profiles, right? So we need to be able to go to a different user's profile and see what their match percentage is relative to us. And we need to calculate those things when that happens. So in this one, we're going to create a new app called Profiles, and it's going to be fairly simple. It's going to have a profile picture. It's going to have their location or some sort of location that they set, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a general area. And then we're going to have the different match percentage based off of all that. We might add some other stuff in there with the profiles, but the main part here is to see how we could do it, and then you could apply anything that you've learned so far to making it more expansive and a little bit better. All right, so now, without further ado, let's actually start the app. So Python manage.py, start app, and we're going to call it Profiles. All right, so this creates that new app and all the models and all that stuff. And there's another thing that I want to install, and that's Pillow. So pip install Pillow. Pillow is the Python image library, and how Django uses it is to validate whether or not a file that's being uploaded is actually an image, right? So if you upload a JPEG, it's going to validate whether or not it is actually a JPEG, and it's going to do things that are beyond just the name extension. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's go into our models. And the first thing I want to do is I want to import from Django.conf. I'm going to import settings because we're going to be using the auth user model. So user equals to settings.auth user model. And we'll come in here and say class profile. So this is the main profile for any particular user. And it's going to be models.model. And user equals to models.foreign key. Nope, not foreign key. And why would it not be foreign key? Well, I'm going to write it out real quick, and then let's think about why this wouldn't be foreign key. See, we want the profile association, but we don't want foreign key because then any individual user can have multiple profiles, right? So instead, we want to do one-to-one field, which is a type of foreign key, but there's only a one-to-one relation. That means only one user can have a profile, and each profile can only have one user per instance, right? So there's only one user. It's kind of a unique clause, basically. So now that we've got this, we can go ahead and add that location. So let's just say models.char field for character field, of course. Max length, we'll say, is 120. And I'll give it null equals to true and blank equals to true. So again, you can add all types of fields and attributes here. I'm just going to write location just to say, like, if they wanted to say New York City or Los Angeles or London or something like that, they could just write something like along those lines. And then lastly, we would do profile picture. So I'm just going to add picture here, and we'll do models.image field, and we're going to set an upload to location. And we also, do we want to have this to be, we'll have it null equals to true as well, and blank equals to true also as well. So the upload to, we can just, I'm going to set a default one first, and I'll just say videos. And make sure it's in this format because it's going to be working off of the media file. So if we look into our settings, and we look in base, actually, the media URL and media root, it's actually going to be uploading in here. So when we add this trailing slash, it creates a directory specifically for that. Okay, and then we'll do define Unicode self, and of course if you're on Python 3, it's string of self. All right, and then we're going to return self.user.username. Cool. So that's our profile, and let's add it into the admin. So that's what we'll do first, is we'll add it in here. So from class.models, import profile. And then we're just going to do admin.site.register profile. Okay, so now that we've got this model and profile, let's go ahead and add it into our settings, into the local settings. And I'm going to add it into profile, into our installed apps, that is. Add profile into installed apps. And now we'll run the migration. So Python manage.py, make migrations, and Python manage.py, migrate. And let's run the server. And now we're going to check this upload. So let's go into our home profiles and we'll create a new one. And we click the user James Bond, location, London, and we'll add a picture here. So on the desktop, I added this picture of James Bond, and I'm going to hit save and continue. And we see here it says it goes to videos/James Bond. The reason it goes to videos is because we said upload to videos. That's not a great location for it, but if we go into the desktop, matchmaker, static and env, media root, videos, and there is that image of James Bond. Cool, so that is the picture and actually where it's going to be uploaded to, but let's actually change this upload location by using a function here. So what we'll do is we'll define a function, say upload location, and it's going to take in an instance and a file. So we'll do instance and file name, and we want to return something here. So first of all, the instance itself has a user, so instance.user is actually what we want to use, so username. So this will be the location is equal to that, right? So that's actually where we're going to be setting it. So I'll put it into a string as well. And then we're going to return just %s/%s, and then use string substitution to add location and file name. So this is now our upload location. So instead of upload to being that way, we just put it in here. So upload location will now go off of the user itself. So let's go back into our project, and we're going to want to clear this out. Hit save and continue editing. Choose file again now, and I'm going to upload it one more time. Hit save and continue. And now it goes into that person's actual folder, right? So it goes off of what we did on this upload location, which is really nice because that makes it nice and easy for us to actually use and work with this file and save it in different locations as we might want it to be. Because if you put them all in the videos location or everyone in the same profiles or whatever, same in the same pictures, you might run into naming errors or possibly items being confusing, right? So there's that. But then another thing that we might want to do is instead of using the original file name, we might want to get the file name's extension. So file name dot split dot, so extension equals to file name dot split, and then we'll just say profile dot %s, and then of course split, we want to get the second part of that, so using 1. So if it's a .jpeg or something like this, this will allow us to change the image name to be what we want it to be. So if we go back in here and let's upload that picture, hit save and continue, and now changes it to profile.jpg. Now this extension part, it might not be perfect, so I'm actually going to just comment that out and leave it as the original file name, because realistically it's going to be up to you on how this stuff is going to be saved. And the other side of it too is when Django does save it, the file name isn't really that important unless you really want to change all of them. The other side of it too is this extension right here. There's a good chance that this also might fail depending on what file names you actually accept. So without going into too much other detail, this might not work perfectly for us. All right, so now that we've got this, let's actually do one more thing, and that is we're going to add this to our requirements.txt. So let's make sure we do pip freeze into requirements.txt, and that will add in the pillow as a requirement. So pillow right here. All right, so if you have any questions on this stuff, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.